11B, approving a non-bonding term sheet Bethlehem Authority, Working Woodlands.
Whereas the Bethlehem Authority, the Nature Conservancy, and Blue Source desire to enter into a non-binding term sheet known as the Working Woodlands Term Sheet. Whereas the term sheet provides for, among other things, that the Nature Conservancy will provide to the authority an inventory of property resources, including timber, forest management plan, and Forest Stewardship Council certification for the authority's property and timber. Whereas the term sheet provides that the authority, in conjunction with the Nature Conservancy and Blue Source, will provide for carbon development and market services as set forth in the term sheet, which carbon development shall require that the authority restrict the future development of its properties for up to 60 years. And whereas the term sheet provides that the authority, the Nature Conservancy, and Blue Source shall enter into a carbon development and marketing agreement and working forest management agreement. Whereas the authority desires to obtain the approval of the Council of the City of Bethlehem to move forward with the negotiation of the operative agreements with the Nature Conservancy and Blue Source set forth in the term sheet. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Bethlehem that the non-binding term sheet is approved, and the authority is encouraged to move forward with negotiations toward consummation of the operative agreements expressly conditioned upon the Council of the City of Bethlehem approving the operative agreements prior to execution by the authority. Resolution 11B is sponsored by Eric Evans and Gene Gillespie.
Comments? Mr. Reynolds?
As chairman of the Finance Committee, I'm not sure if it was 2 weeks ago or not, we had a committee hearing where we discussed this program. I think most of the council members were in attendance, and I think it's safe to say that most, if not all of us, thought that this was a program that made sense. And I see a lot of the people here tonight that were at the committee meeting then. And also, I'm glad to hear that the EAC also endorsed the plan as well. I think one of the things that people in the city of Bethlehem have always appreciated about living here is the quality of our water. And I think hearing the presentation and hearing that it's basically a win-win-win for the parties involved, and that we really don't lose anything or take any options off the table, which aren't bad options to take off the table. So I think that made many of us on council, it made us excited, not just willing to approve it, but also excited for the opportunity. And I think going forward, as we discussed at the committee meeting, it's the right thing for the city of Bethlehem. Obviously, we appreciate the watershed. We appreciate the water that we got. It was a good decision by those leaders of the city a long time ago, and I think it's certainly something that I'm going to approve. Now, once again, this is just approving the non-binding term sheet, so there's a lot to be worked out. There's obviously other steps in the process that we will take a look at down the road. But it was my sense that at the end of that committee meeting that we were in favor of allowing it to move forward beyond this point and start talking about some more details and maybe take the next step. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Evans?
I would just like to again repeat my comments from last week as well, and by congratulating the director and the board of the Water Authority, Mr. Braun, on a great program. A lot of diligence, a lot of work went into it. I know there's some work ahead, but it has been very well received as I expected, and congratulations, well done. Thank you.
Ms. Dolan?
Just on another note, the area that is involved with it, that will become this Working Woodlands, is in and is surrounded by some of the most beautiful land in Pennsylvania. It's considered quote, one of the last great places. And if you can get up early in the morning and drive out there and maybe meet up with a Nature Conservancy guide, you just cannot believe the beautiful place that our water comes from. And I'm so glad that we are getting benefit from it, and we are giving back to it.
Thank you. My colleagues, let me just say, I think Mr. Braun and Mr. Replosh have done an outstanding job. I think we have such a great facility up there, but number one is to protect our watershed and protect the excellent water that we do have. It's just a shame that it's almost an hour away, that our citizens really can't see it and visit it, because it's a remarkable, it's really a remarkable system, and so I will support this. With that, please call the roll.
Mrs. Belinsky.
Aye.
Mr. DiGiacinto.
Aye.
Ms. Dolan.
Aye.
Mr. Evans.
Aye.
Mr. Mauer.
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds.
Aye.
Mr. Donches.
Aye.
7-0 passes.
Thank you. 11C, approving the allocation 2010 pension state aid.
Be it resolved by the Council of the City of Bethlehem that the appropriate city officials are authorized to allocate $2,917,827.84 of the 2010 General Municipal Pension System state aid among the pension plans for the police and fire MMO, each $4,430.17, and the reimbursement for the pension bond payment of May 1st, $816,983.75, and November 1st, pension bond payment of $2,091,983.75. Resolution 11C is sponsored by Gordon Mara and J. William Reynolds.
Comments? Please, Mr. Reynolds.
I would just like to say that sometimes we hear make comments about why we wish the state kind of stayed out of our business and let us make our own decisions and let the municipalities have more autonomy when it comes to certain things. But just quickly, I would like to say this is our state tax dollars coming back to pay our pensions, which is a good thing. And in today's times, when we hear about our government doing such terrible things, this is something that is saving the state, saving the city taxpayers a lot of money. Help from the state helping to pay for city pensions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Polinsky.
Aye.
Mr. DiGiacinto.
Aye.
Ms. Dolan.
Aye.
Mr. Evans.
Aye.
Mr. Mauer.
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds.
Aye.
Mr. Donches.
Aye.
7-0 passes.
11D, amending city council rules, community development committee, historic matters.
Be it resolved by the Council of the City of Bethlehem that in Rule 8 of the Rules of Council, as amended, the duties of the Community and Economic Development Committee are amended to add landmarks and property of historical interest. Resolution 11D is sponsored by Karen Dolan and Jean Polinsky.
Comments? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Polinsky.
Aye.
Mr. DiGiacinto.
Aye.
Ms. Dolan.
Aye.
Mr. Evans.
Aye.
Mr. Mauer.
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds.
Aye.
Mr. Donches.
Aye.
7-0 passes.
Thank you. 11E, certificate of appropriateness for 429 at Weldon Place.
A certificate of appropriateness under the provisions of the Act of the Pennsylvania Legislature and Bethlehem Ordinance, whereas it is proposed to extend the temporary approval of the metal siding protecting the structure during restoration at 429 Heckwelder Place. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Bethlehem that a certificate of appropriateness is granted for the proposal. Resolution 11E is sponsored by Eric Evans and Gordon Mauer.
Comments?
Just make one quick
Ms.
comment.
Dolan?
It's with sadness that I vote yes, because basically what this means is they most likely still haven't raised the money to, do the restoration that they want to do to the main house on 429 Heckwelder Place. It's great that they're protecting it, but I really look forward to the day when they can restore it and take that unattractive facade off.
Thank you. Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Polinsky.
Aye.
Mr. DiGiacinto.
Aye.
Ms. Dolan.
Aye.
Mr. Evans.
Aye.
Mr. Mauer.
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds.
Aye.
Mr. Donches.
Aye.
7-0 passes.
11F, certificate of appropriateness for 546 Main Street.
A certificate of appropriateness under the provisions of the Pennsylvania Legislature and Bethlehem Ordinance, whereas it is proposed to install a fabric canopy supported on a demountable metal frame system over the entire sidewalk in front of the building at 546 Main Street. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Bethlehem that a certificate of appropriateness is hereby denied for the proposal. Resolution 11F is sponsored by Eric Evans and J. William Reynolds.
Before I ask for any comments or vote, just for my colleagues, a vote of aye will deny the certificate of appropriateness as recommended by the Hart Board. A vote of nay will allow the request in opposition to the Hart Board's recommendation. Correct, Mr. Spinelli?
Correct.
Comment? Ms. Dolan?
I think it's important to support the Hart fully on this, not only because having a fabric canopy supported on a demountable metal frame over the entire sidewalk So in other words, it's not an awning, because awnings are just supposed to be covering the windows to keep the light out. They don't jut out that far. Basically, it would be as if the sidewalk was part of the building or owned by the restaurant. And so I think it's not only important to support the Harp on this one, but that to, recognize this as not allowing a precedent to begin. We really don't want to start having canopies obstructing, I would agree with Mr. Shire, the very vertical beauty of our building. So I think it's important that we make a statement and not allow this to occur.
Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Reynolds?
You just hand it first.
Mr. Reynolds?
Okay. I think I would agree with Councilman Dolan. I think while this particular property, I think, brings a lot of people to downtown, and a lot of people like it, and it's always good to put feet on the street there. At the same time, I think that Councilman Dolan hit it on the head when she said about setting a precedent. And I think that in this particular situation, I was having a conversation the other day with the manager of the DBA as well as some business owners downtown, and they had suggested the fact that if this had gone through, there would be other restaurants that would be asking for this next. And I think sometimes change is good and change is necessary. In this case, I think it would certainly be a case where by allowing this, we could be creating a lot of problems. We would be solving one problem, where we'd be getting all these people underneath this, but at the same time, we'd be creating a lot of other problems. So I think that it's in the best interest of the city of Bethlehem and downtown, and the majority of the downtown merchants to deny this. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bauer?
It's taken a long time to get to where downtown is today, and right now I think it's excellent, and I think we'd be foolish to change anything. Let's enjoy it, let's move forward.
Thank you. Any other comments? I will support the Harp Board. I just think if we were to oppose the Harp Board on this case, and sometimes I've disagreed with the Harp Board in the past, I just think we're creating a bad precedent, and I think we would have many more problems down the road. I just think it really would take away something from Main Street and our downtown area. So I will support the Harp Board. Please call the roll.
Mr. Dunn, just go,
I'm
now,
sorry.
and I vote agrees with the Harp Board.
Correct.
Thank you.
It agrees with the Harp Board to deny
Right,
their
to
request.
deny it, right.
Correct. Thank you.
Mrs. Polinsky?
Aye.
Mr. DiGiacinto?
Aye.
Ms. Dolan?
Aye.
Mr. Evans?
Aye.
Mr. Mauer?
All right.
Mr. Reynolds?
Aye.
Mr. Donches?
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you. We'll move to new business. Item 12, rescheduling the first city council meeting from November 2nd to November 3rd. The chair will accept the motion from Mr. Mauer, second by Mr. Evans, to move our meeting from November 2nd to November 3rd, since November 2nd is election day. I ask the clerk to call the roll on the motion, please.
Mrs. Polinsky?
Aye.
Mr. DiGiacinto?
Aye.
Ms. Dolan?
Aye.
Mr. Evans?
Aye.
Mr. Mauer?
All right.
Mr. Evans?
Aye.
Mr. Donches?
Aye. Thank you. Public Safety Committee,